NHTSA. Oh, NHTSA has launched an investigation into Tesla's Autopilot system focusing on whether recent software updates adequately address safety concerns. NHTSA is doubting the effectiveness over the 2 million vehicle recall last year. The recall, if you remember, marked the conclusion of the NHTSA's years-long investigation into crashes of Tesla vehicles on Autopilot into stopped emergency vehicles on the highway. And before, in the defect notice, Tesla made it clear that it doesn't agree with NHTSA's findings of improper driver monitoring leading to these accidents, but it agreed to add more warnings and alerts when drivers are using the Autopilot features, hence the recall. And we had quite a few complaints from Tesla owners that all of these extra warnings were actually counterintuitive, distracting drivers. But now there's a new investigation. Now, Electric says the original recall always felt like a compromise. The fact that Tesla didn't agree with NHTSA's findings and that the actual recall mainly consisted of mild increases in alerts looked like significant compromises on both sides. However, the driver monitoring through the cabin camera is fairly strong right now. You cannot look away from the road for more than 3 seconds without getting an alert. But Electric writes that there's an unfortunate way to bypass that, and maybe that's exactly what NHTSA is investigating right now. If that's the case, okay, I can accept that. Gary Black just made this bullish post, and it's getting quite a bit of attention. After 2 days digesting Tesla analysts' report and commentary, the product outlook from Tesla's earnings deck, and Elon's matching commentary on the earnings call remain the key bullish takeaways and are likely why Tesla stock is up 19% since announcing earnings. There's no other way to interpret this language than that Tesla is readying new, more affordable models using both the next generation and existing manufacturing platforms for first production before the first half of 2025 ends. That is bullish since it means Tesla is still on track to expand its TAM with more affordable, maybe compact, vehicles to the mass segment by mid-2025, and that the $25,000 next generation vehicle has not been canceled or indefinitely postponed. Reuters is not exactly factually incorrect because the next generation vehicle that would be built solely just on the next generation platform, that is not going to happen for a while because the next few vehicles are going to be built on this in-between platform. So Tesla is basically going to do what it did before with the Model Y. It didn't reinvent anything really. It just took the Model 3, okay, it works, now let's make it a little bigger. So definitely don't expect to see a vehicle that looks like a Cybertruck or something that's radically different. However, the Cybercab, which should be unveiled on August 8th, that of course is going to look like a Cybercab, I think. Gary continues, that said, in my opinion, Elon's assertion that Tesla is doubling down on autonomy is still not catching the hearts and minds of the institutional investors, despite many bulls' assertions to the contrary. Did Gary Black watch Ron Barron yesterday? Ron Barron is all about autonomy now. He loves it. And he has billions of dollars worth of Tesla stock. And he called for the Tesla stock bottom being now. He says, buy now. It's time to buy now. He said the word now many times. We haven't seen much discussion about Tesla's robotaxi opportunity by analysts or buy-side investors, which is not necessarily a bad thing because it just tells you the moment FSD gets even better and some of these analysts try FSD themselves, they're gonna get all over it. A price target increase after a price target increase causing a big rally. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but it really is just a matter of time. Gary continues, Uber, which we own, is down just 2.1% since Tesla's earnings, and Lyft is down 5%, so it's fair to assume investors still don't see Tesla's unsupervised ride-hailing as a major risk to Uber. That may all change on August 8th, but so far, Tesla's continued focus on more affordable non-robotaxi vehicles seems to be what's important to investors that don't put a lot of emphasis on what's going to happen in the next 10 years in regards to autonomy. So, and as Gary isn't Ron Barron an institutional investor, yes, he is, but the analysts and their clients seem more focused on the more affordable vehicle. The message is still quite bullish. Gary did personally experience FSD V12, and he says it's amazing. Now, I watched the drive that Gary Black experienced, and based on what I experienced with FSD V12, under similar conditions that Gary experienced, FSD V12. I think it was really bad when Gary was in the vehicle. I don't know, maybe just Chicago, maybe it's much better in Vancouver, but I never had FSD just blow past a stop sign, even if there's some dirt on the stop sign. And keep in mind, I got FSD after there was another point release, so I was driving on a newer version, so maybe it was that particular version that was not as good. I'm not quite sure, but I do know, based on what Elon Musk is saying, that the next few versions should be noticeably better as well. So I'm really looking forward to trying FSD v12.4 and 12.5. And we know that Omar is now able to go without takeovers for days and days and days and days and days. And it's only getting better. And Omar says if FSD v12.3.5 can walk through a crowd of students at UC Berkeley, I have no doubt Optimus will be able to do so too. I am sure he's right. Edgecase is pushing FSD to its limits. This is a very difficult left turn, and out of the 5 times that they did this, it was fine 4 times, so there was 1 failure. It will be interesting to see how good the next version is going to be. And there's very strong evidence now that FSD just turns on turning signals for other people. You can see that FSD clearly thinks that the car is going to turn left, but when you look at the actual vehicle, the turning signal is not on, but this is great. Wow, Ray says FSD left turn is so naturally human-like these days. From point A to point B, disengagements and interventions are rare. For me, if I drive in a simple city, yeah, they are rare. If I go to downtown Vancouver, I'm gonna have some, but usually it's not safety related. It's just FSD doing something rude, so I don't want to get honked, so that's why I take over. Omar though has a complaint about FSD. V12.3.5 can never just change lanes. It has to start changing lanes, then come back to the original lane, then change lanes slowly. It's super annoying. Now, I don't really experience that, but I have 12.3.4. Elon says fixed in 12.4. So that's good. Look at the data from Omar. He basically doesn't drive anymore. Miles driven 67. Miles on Autopilot 66.46. And he's not sure he has enough Tesla stock. It looks to me that he only drives at the very end, probably when it's time to park.